Good morning, ladies. Here we are again. I'm Celine, and you know Ricky. We're here to show you how to make lanterns this morning. I think you're really going to enjoy this. I don't want anybody getting a little frustrated with it because it takes patience with some of it, and we're all glad you're here. First of all, plug in your glue gun so it will be ready, and be very, very careful with it, please. I know we're starting Christmas a little early, but what the vibe was, we wanted to make sure you had something for Christmas. We hope to do another Christmas
Craft.
tree, a Christmas tree that's really different. I don't think any of you have seen this, and it will be a lot of fun. So let's hope for the best. So I want everybody to enjoy it today, have a good time. We'll try to go slower than we usually go. So as you can see, here's a sample of the tree. I've been calling that the tree all day. The lantern. Here I go again. So I am going to introduce you to Ricky, and she's going to tell you about everything that's here and what to do. And I will be back. Now enjoy it.
What we're going to work with first is the lights. And what you have there is a small battery pack. Some of them have the plastic on the bottom. You can pull that out when you're ready to turn your lights on. And I would suggest that you do that now so that you make sure they're working. And there you go. Now what we're going to do is, it's a delicate wire, but you know, just take your time and straighten these out. And just pull it apart gently. We're working on the lights first, and I'll show you where they go, and then we'll have Celine come back and work on the craft. So just take your bends out of the wire, the bends out of the wire. There you go. It's a good long piece of wire and lights. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to wrap them around our hand. And it sounds a little silly right now, but it all works out. Okay. So I just take it and wrap it loosely around your 4 fingers. Okay. And then what we'll do is just put this aside when I'm done, and Celine will start on the base of the lantern. But for the time being, we want to get these installed in the lantern at the top, and I'll tell you why. On the top of your lantern, there is a plate here, a round plate that's attached. And what we're going to do is take our lights that we just wrapped up, and we're going to secure them to the top of this disc. Okay, so you just put them over the disc and then push the disc to the top. That's all you're doing. You're going to just take your lights and leave it to the side. And now Celine will start with the next step, and that'll be the greens.
I'm back again. Now we have a little ball of greenery, and we're going to take this and we're going to put it down on the table and just sort of spread it out just a little bit, okay? Some of you might find that it's too much and you want to cut some of it off, and you can do that, and it's really easy. So, see, you're going to get a little ball like that, and it will give something for the church to set on. Be careful of Vicky's lights. Then you put it in here, and just take your hand or your 2 hands and just crush it down. Don't be scared, just to push, 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 push it down, okay? And what you might want to do to give it a little greenery is find one on the end or somewhere and just pull it and stand it up a little bit. Now, if you don't want to do this, you don't have to. We want you to use your judgment too. We're just here to give you an idea of the different things you can do. Of course, you say it's easy to find one. Just because you want to find a long one, you can't find one. And of course, as you go through putting the church in and the decorations, when Vicki puts the decorations in, she might want to move these a little bit, because there's several different ways you can do it. I mean, if you look at it and say, oh, I don't like the way that looks, just push it down and try some other way. But nothing is wrong. Anything you do is right, okay? And I think that's sort of the way we want it. This one here is more towards the middle, so I think we'll take that one out. Find one, oh, here's a nice long one, yeah. Now you're gonna see later what you're gonna use these for. They don't look like they're doing much right now, but when Ricky gets through decorating, she'll dress them all up. And it will really, then you just turn your lantern around and say, well, how do I think that's gonna look? And then you see down the bottom here, your little space that shows the silver. And if you can do it, you really don't want that. You really want to cover that. Because you really want to make it look like it's sitting on some green grass or something. Oh, that looks better now. But as you go along, you just have to keep bending. Now, you don't have to glue this. I'll tell you why. Did we decide not to glue this? Yeah, okay. Because you're going to, when you eventually put your church in, you're going to have a bit of glue on that, and that glue will go down through this and hold the greenery for you. So that's looking much better. But as Ricky goes along on this and puts all the lovely pieces in here, she might have to rearrange it a little bit. So I am going to give this back to you now, and she is going to decorate it beautifully with some decorations.
Right? Do you all have your greens in the bottom of your lantern? Okay, if not, take your time. We're not in any hurry. Okay. What you do have in your bag, your kit, is a filler piece. Some might be white and green. Some might be white, green, and a little red. And then with your clippers, you're going to clip some of these pieces off. And we're going to use them as like shrubs with snow on them inside the lantern. Now the door is in the back, and this is your front. We all have different tastes. I like to put my pieces in and then see if I like where I'm placing them, and if not, then I can relocate them. Right now, I prefer this one to be down a bit and this one to be up. And what I'll do is I'll constantly look from the front and see if that's how I like it. I'm going to push this one further down, and this one is going to go in the corner. Now, as you can see right now, I'm not using the glue. I will shortly, but for now, I just like to lay my pieces out and see if that's the way I like it before I use my glue gun. So you're just going to snip these with a scissors or your clippers. Okay. And just move your wire aside if it's in your way. And then let's see if this looks decent here or if this is too much. Might be too much. Let's see. You know what? I think I like this piece, so I am going to glue it. At this time, I'm not too sure If you like, you can rest your light switch at the top. Maybe it would be out of your way. I'm not sure about the front piece, but this piece I'm going to glue in. Be careful, it's hot. Do not put your fingers on the glue gun. I just take a dab and I put it on the filler, and then all I do is lay it against the green. You can see the smoke coming out of that gun. And then you can adjust the bottom. All right, and I'm going to look and see if I like that. I like the back piece, not thrilled with this piece. So that's why I did not glue it. I'm going to place it differently. Oops, I didn't do a good job of gluing that. Let me take a little more glue. I don't know if you can see this, but I'm going to go on the evergreen and put that towards the glass. Okay, and I did not touch the glue. My hand is quite a distance away from the hot glue. All right, then this piece, I think I might like to lay down a bit. And again, I'm going to check to see if I like the way that looks. Well, as I can see right now, I have a spot where you can see the bottom of the lantern. So I'm just going to move my greens up a bit. And the other thing is, you might not want to glue your pieces. You might want to just leave a few in there loose. That's your choice. Some of them you'd have to glue just to make it stand due to the weight of the piece. And I think I like that. I'm going to look one more time. Okay, I'm going to rearrange this in this corner. Take your time. We're in no hurry. You have all morning, all day. You can watch it on the cable channel or YouTube. Okay. And I think I will add a piece towards the back here. Something like this. So you have a decorative piece, a piece of pine, then you might have another shrub here. I like to cover the plastic stems into the evergreen. And that one I'm not going to glue. There's no need to. So again, I'm going to look at it and see if I like that. And I must say, I don't. So I'm going to play with this piece again. And then we're just going to lay this down, see how that looks. I think that's a little better. Now, you might only like 2 pieces in there. You might like 4. You might like more or less. That's your choice. It's your craft. It's your lantern. Decorate it how you see fit. All right. Let's see. The next one would be, we're going to take the church. And as you can see, there's some greens and berries on the church. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take these. And as you can see in the sample how they were just bent. You might like them up. You might like them down. Again, your lantern, your choice. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put this inside the lantern. Now, with these shrubs, it's a little wider. I'm going in sideways, and then I'll twist the church and line it up. So go in sideways. Okay. And now, before I put any glue on that piece, I'm going to check my design, and I'm not having much success with this piece here. but I can play with it a bit. And I also want to make sure that these don't cover the windows and the doors in the church, because you will, if you look at the sample, you'll see that there's light coming through there. So we really don't want to block all the windows and the doors on the church. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a stick. You can use a pencil, your scissors, and I'm going to see if I can get this down. And then this one. Take your time. We're not going anywhere. Okay, let me see how that looks. Well, I still don't like this piece. And you know what? What you also can do is take your church out again. And I am going to take this out. When you're doing crafts, whether you've done them alone or you've come into the craft room, you know we have trial and error. And right now, I find that an error. I don't like that at all. Okay. All right, I moved those over a bit. We're going to go in again. And we're going to turn this around. It takes a little bit of patience. Don't get nervous with it. It's only a craft. You're not working on the Mona Lisa. You're just having fun. Fill your days. Tough being in all the time, isn't it? But we do miss all of you coming in. Sheila, Anita, Dolores, Judy, Maureen, Pat, all of you girls, Sue. We miss seeing your smiling faces and having fun with you. All right, there we go. So this piece wasn't working out too well. I might not even use this any longer. I will see in a moment if I'm going to try to re-glue that. The most important thing is we'd like to get the church scented. So turn it around to you so you can see if it's scented where you like it. Okay. Oop, I should use this. Okay. Now you can take your glue gun. You don't need a lot of glue. Just a little dab on the bottom of the church, really on the top of the evergreen. Just one little squirt, and you're going to take your church and make sure it's scented, and then just press it down. Give it a couple of seconds, and that'll stick. Hot glue works very fast. Okay. Okay, so there you have it. I don't know, Celine, do I need this piece in the back?
I don't know. I can't see the front of it. You know why that other white flower
Oh, it moved
didn't
again.
hold? It needed more glue and you have to hold it longer.
Yeah, this here I think I should glue. Let's see. Now this is a little different, that in. And then I want one very small piece.
I like that. It's just it's tilted a little bit to the...
My church is tilted?
Yeah, just a little to your right, I think.
And then I'm going to take another piece. Just put some glue on the tip there. And just put this over here, just for a little white. I'm going to put it on that side. You might like white all around the bottom of the church. That's your choice. You might like 1 or 2 pieces. That's your choice. I think I just like a little more. Let's see. I think right here, right? So you can cut these. You can use a larger piece, smaller piece. It's up to you. And I'm just going to put a dab on the bottom of this. Gosh, that gun gets so hot. There we go. Don't touch the glue. Okay, now I know my church is crooked, and all I'm going to do is just move it. It's on the branches, so there's movement in the branches, so you won't have a problem moving your church. If you care to put more glue in there, be my guest. That's up to you. Okay, so now we have the evergreens. We have the lights in the interior. We have some filler that decorates the inside of the glass. And now we have the lights hanging from the top. Now what we're going to do with the lights, this is the back of your lantern. And so you want your switch in the back. And we're going to take, remember on the disc I attached the lights up there? That was only just to keep them out of the way. So you're going to push your disc down a bit. I don't know if you can see that. And you're going to take the lights off. Okay. And then we're just going to stretch this out a bit. And then I'm going to count. The light bulbs are very small, but you can turn it on and work if it makes it easier for you. I'm going to take a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6. 6. And I'm going to start with this and put this around the church. So go into the church. Let's see. We're going to put it around the church, and we're going to spread this out. This also will take some time because we all have different tastes and we might want to see it at different places. That could be spread out a little more. And what I'm doing is just playing with it, my fingers, or you can use your stick, a pencil, a pen. Okay. All right. And now what I do with the lights that I left out, I take them and I put them in the back of the church. And the wire is very bendable, so just feed it through the back doors, the back windows, as long as you get it inside the church. And I just keep pushing them through. And we have 2 more to get in there. There we go. There we go, that's the last one. Okay. And then you can close your door once you're happy with the lights. Now, I moved my church, as you can see, so I'm going to straighten it out. I'm going to look at the lights again. I'd like a little more over here. And so all you do is play with them and move them around.
Do you want me to share?
No, thank you. Okay, and then just going to straighten this out. You can close the door. Now just be careful. This is where the wires are soldered for your lights. So just be careful when you close the door that you don't cut that wire. You're just going to close it. Keep this on the bottom. right here, and then the door does close. The lanterns are in a few different colors. Your churches are in a few different colors. We try to match everything to the lantern. How's that? Okay, and now Celine is going to finish with the topper. Celine, I'll shut this off for you for the moment.
Okay, now we're gonna do a topper, and this is the hardest part.
Yeah, Celine always does the hard jobs.
So you can do it with a pair of scissors, just clip this off, okay? And then you're gonna say, oh, don't glue it yet. Just look at it and see which direction you like it in. This is nice. This has some a package on it and everything. So I think I like it there. What do you think, Vicki?
Yep.
Yeah, I think I like it there. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, Vicki and I do some of these things a little different, but it all works out the same. Take your glue gun and be careful again. Squirt some, sort of swirl it around here. Wow, I never seen a glue gun so hot.
I know, that's very hot. I think we must have got an industrial one.
Okay, then you just lay that on top of the glue. Don't touch the glue. And what I do is I hold it a few seconds because it takes a few seconds for it to really get going. I don't know, I think these are very pretty. I hope you ladies like them. And while we're waiting for the glue to dry, I'd like to say hi to Peggy, Maureen, and
Sandy, Sandra, Elaine,
yeah, and
all of them.
everybody.
Too
We
many
miss
to
you
mention.
all. They were all telling me you're waiting to come back. Oh, Debbie, that's who I was trying to think of. Debbie, we can't forget Debbie because she makes us all laugh. Okay, so that's on there pretty good, as you can see. And now I need a little red. And thank you to
I don't know if you want.
Ricky,
Yeah,
I got
cut
it.
those there, you can
Okay,
cut them.
so here's a little red ball, and before you glue it, just, stick it in here and there to see where you like it. I'm always changing things. Usually when you do crafts, you're always doing that. And if you don't like a little bit of red in it, which I'm not going to glue the red because I'm not sure of this. If you don't like the red, you can always just leave it. But I think it just gives it a little more color. What do you think, Vicki?
I like the pop. Yeah, I like color.
Okay, I know you can't see
I
this.
think there was an earthquake. My church is tilted.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely use some glue on the base for the evergreen.
Yes,
that'll keep it
definitely with
from
the
moving.
church. You got to really
Right.
get in the front there. I didn't notice that when we did them before, but
Yeah. Well, every
I
time.
noticed it when I was sitting there.
Right. Well, every time you do a craft, what works one time might not work the next. So you just have to keep playing with it and rearranging things.
Yeah.
And
See,
as
this-
long as you make it to what you like.
Right, like see right here, this fell down on Vicki. That's not her fault, it happens. Just got to get it picked up, because you do like to see the church and the lights,
Right. So
and
please
stuff.
look at the sample on the table.
Yeah. I'm going to put one more red berry on this.
And also realize that we've been doing crafts a long time. Don't get frustrated. I mean, it happens to us, it's going to happen to you. If it doesn't happen to you, great, but just be patient and have fun with it.
And, you get a kit, so you can take that kit out, lay it out, and look at it. And even though we showed you ways to do it, you can say to yourself, oh, see, I'm in such a habit of wearing this. If you want to use the supplies differently, you can. You might have different ideas than we have. But I just think that little color red makes it pop a little more. What do you think?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So, let me see it from here.
And now you can turn on your lights.
But you are gonna, when you get your kits, you will get different colored lanterns, different things to put on the lantern, and there are churches that come in silver, gold, and white. So it's they remind me of little churches in Vermont when you see the steeples. So it's very pretty. So I am gonna have Vicky go back to the you're gonna go back and work on that, and then I'll come back, okay?
Okay. So what I'm going to do is open this. And I really have to look at it and say, oh, I see. My little one here fell down. I think that's the one that I moved before. It's given me a little bit of trouble. Now what I can do is I could pull out the entire piece if I wanted to. I don't think it's necessary. I'm just going to use a pick here and see if I can get it to stand up. Or maybe I'll even take it out and put a little glue on it. See, just play with it. I'm going to look at it again and see if I really want to put that there. Yes, I do. And just on the bottom. Ooh. This one I think is dangerous. Okay, and then we're just going to put this in here. And I think that should do it. And then we'll move this over a bit. Well, I wish I had a twisty, something that would bend and twist. There we go. Okay. And let's see. And how's that? Okay. And then as you can see the sample, this church cooperated and she sent it. And I think we're all set. What do you think, Celine?
I think the only problem is with the church is when we put it in, we have to make sure there's enough of glue in the front of the church
To hold it?
to hold it, because I think that's what's happening.
It could be. It
Yeah.
very well could be. So anyway, as you can see, it's trial and error. And I hope yours is going a little smoother than mine today. But like I said, no matter how many times you do crafts, you might not have an issue with anything, and then you do another craft and it just gives you a difficult afternoon. But Celine, I think we're ready for the close.
You can close if you want.
Oh, okay. Well, I think that's our craft for today. We thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoy the crafts that we've selected for you. We're working on the next one, making a Christmas tree that you might be interested in. We're also trying very hard to do crafts that are somewhat simple and that we can get the materials, because as you all know, there's a lot of shortages for different things. So we are working hard to get the kits to you and get everything that you need. And we hope you enjoy the afternoon, I should say the morning with us. And take your time. And if you weren't able, we tried to go a little slower, talk a little more. If you weren't able to finish, or you want to take it apart and start over, like afterwards, I'm going to fix this again, do it, you know. But we hope you enjoy it, and please join us for the next segment. Have a great day. Miss you all. Thank you.